welcome to the final week of the Renegade Open Show. Action.
There's a weak clap. All right, week.
Hey guys, I'm the captain this week. Zach is away. All right, so you have me. All right, so we are joined by the lovely Megan this week as well, and Callum. All right, sweet. Let's go through our thoughts on this week's workout. What are you guys' thoughts? Wizzy?
I'm going to be a little bit more insightful than last week. This is probably the most fun open workout that we've had so far. Good combination of bodyweight stuff with some heavy snatches if you have the ability to get there. But as far as my thoughts on the workout, I do like this workout. It's pretty cool. If you are pretty good at handstand push-ups and you have the capacity to be able to go upside down quite a lot and quite regularly with good volume, then I think you're going to have a pretty good fun workout today.
Awesome, way more insightful. Great.
Much.
Megan?
I love this workout. I love this format and how there's just that little bit of extra incentive to strategize a little bit better or push a little bit harder, and especially there's going to be a vast majority of people who are trying to get into the next round, and that always just gives it like a cool element of intensity.
Agree. No, I like it too. I like the thought of, I actually thought this sort of workout was actually going to be last week, so I was actually predicting something like that, but I do like this. We have to kind of earn your way into the next round, so if you're somebody who's in that higher tier sort of level, you probably don't have to push as hard because you can back yourself a little more with these movements, but people, the normal people such as myself, will be really trying to push and to get into each round sort of thing without blowing out and ending the workout for themselves too early. So initial thoughts, yeah, that was pretty good, right? What are our predictions, team? What are our predictions? Because this is ultimately a for time piece. What are you guys thinking in terms of time frame? We'll start with you, Megan.
Ooh, are we talking for people who are exceptional
Exceptional.
at this?
The best times, mate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what it. Can you skip me on this question?
Of course, we'll come back.
Well, I think Mel just did it in about 8 minutes, I think. She did the whole thing in about 8 minutes. I can't remember the actual time off my head. I think that's going to be pretty close to the top time for the ladies. And if not, she might be able to do it again and beat that. I reckon around to be honest, I don't think anyone's going to beat her in it. For the guys, it's going to be someone a little bit shorter and faster. I predicted Ricky would win last week. I predict Ricky will win this week, or Jeff Adler. And I think that's probably for the males, probably going to be around 8 to 9. I think it'll be a little bit slower for the guys compared to the ladies just because of the snatch loading. 100 kilos for 9 reps, regardless of how good and strong you are, you still have to take your time with that weight. So I do predict somewhere around 8/9 minutes for them. Oh, I need to give it time, don't I? Okay, let's go 8:36 for the males, and let's go 7:50 for the females.
Nice.
Unless males already beat that, then that's null and void. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Did you need a little bit longer? Or do you want me to go?
No, I got it now.
Yeah.
Now that I've listened to Callum speak, 7:49
For
for the females, and 8. What did you say?
8:36.
Yeah.
8:36.
Yeah. I got a solid 8:35.
Nice, awesome. I'm predicting. I actually think this is a Colton Mertens workout.
Cool.
I do think so. I do think. Obviously, the standard that they've brought in the last couple of years on the wall walks will slow down some of those shorter people because it's not based off your height anymore. It's just across the board. But I do think this is a Colton Mertens sort of workout. Shorter range of motion on a lot of things. He's still strong enough to get through that barbell pretty well. I think that's him, but I do agree also, Mal O'Brien, I think, will take out this one again. My predictions, it's a good one. I do think, just like you guys said, I think the males will be a little bit slower in comparison to the females, judging on that snatch weight. So I'm thinking for the ladies, I think we're probably going to see, let's go 7:48. And for the guys will. I reckon the guys won't be too far behind. I want to say, let's go at 8:10 for the guys. 8:10. Yeah, I'm going with that 8:10. Now let's go on to the next part. So let's go through the strategy of this. So first of all, let's talk about the strategies of those, General population.
General population trying to get into the quarterfinals?
Trying to get into the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Take it away. That 3 kilos is getting heavy, man.
All right, yeah, I'm going to put this, I'm just going to leave it on the desk. I think for the general pop, it's going to be a 6 or a 9 minute workout. Now, you can bank time. So if you are someone that knows that you possibly can get to the next part and you're really going to struggle on handstand push-ups or the loading of the snatch, I think you should move as fast as you can in the first part to get to the next part, knowing that you're going to have a little bit of time when you get there, and you're probably not going to progress or advance any further than that. So I think that's got to be the goal for that population. Now, that will probably be most of the people trying to get into the quarterfinals. I do think it is a very hard workout to finish for most people. It's 40 strict handstand push-ups within the work to be able to get the workout done, which is a lot for, like I say, most people, especially after doing that many wall walks and power snatches to get there. So I think banking time early, moving as fast as you can, giving yourself time in that round of 20 handstand push-ups and snatches that do get relatively heavy as well. I think for the people trying to get the best score they possibly can, I think it's just a pretty quick workout the whole way through. I think if you back your ability on the handstand push-ups, then you need to be breaking it up into small sets and getting back on the wall really quick. So 4 sets of 5 or even less, 5 sets of 4. Is that right?
Yep.
That maths?
That maths.
5 sets of 4, really quick rests, getting back on the wall, but not doing too much so that you blow your shoulders out. So A, you can't hold a barbell overhead when you get your snatch, and B, so you can't get your handstand push-ups in the next round. Now, power snatching should be the way to go for most people for as long as you can, because you do get a little bit unstable and it does get dicey when you start dropping into a full snatch. Now, obviously, when the men get to 80 kilos and the ladies get to that second to last barbell as well, there will be a time when you will have to start dropping a little bit lower into that catch, but I would try and avoid that for as long as possible. The biggest key point, I think, in this workout is not doing too much damage to your shoulders early on if you do want to get into those last couple of rounds. That's my strategy on the workout.
Nice. Megan, you got anything for us?
Sure thing. Yeah, this is heavy.
It's heavy.
I think if you are confident with these movements, then you're trying to move as the person who moves as efficiently as possible is going to be the one who saves their shoulders 100%. A little bit more. You don't save a lot by coming off the wall a rep earlier and resting and trying to bank it that way. I just feel like there has to be an element of pushing the boundaries, but if you can be efficient within the movements, technically sound on your power snatches, even going into relaxing your shoulders as much as you can on the double unders. I don't think a lot of people realize that combination. It's three, even though it's a double under, it's 3 shoulder heavy movements. So shoulders blow out on the dubs, shoulders blow out on the handstand push-ups, shoulders blow out on the power snatches. And even if you are someone who's proficient in all 3 of those accumulatively with them together, they are going to shock you in how much it blows out the shoulders. So if you can remain as efficient as possible in each of those movements for those who are confident, then you're going to be the one being able to bank a few more reps without rest later on. I think if you are someone who is trying to get your best score as possible and you know that you're not going to potentially make it all the way through or into the last rounds, it's more about avoiding any kind of failure is really important, because a failed handstand push-up and a failed power snatch just deletes time so quickly, and the amount of rest that you need for those failed reps is times 4. So if you can avoid failed reps in whatever way that looks like, then you're going to get your best score possible. And that means dropping off the wall before you reach that ultimate fatigue, and taking your time when you get to a weight that's a struggle for you on the power snatches, just being able to make sure that you take the extra second to set up properly and making sure that the lift is done with ease rather than just trying to grip it and pull it off the ground.
Nice. Thanks, Megs. Yep, so I'm fairly similar in terms of how we need to be smart with this workout. Efficiency is huge. It's huge. You've got all those wall walks to start off with, right? It's just going to blow up your shoulders straight away, and it's not just shoulders in terms of just shoulders. It's the small stabilizing muscles in your shoulders too that you're going to need for the snatches later. All that stuff, that all adds up And then those snatches, those 40 kilo snatches start to feel like 50 kilo snatches, right? So it's just about being as efficient as possible. For me, I know I'm going to attack these wall walks methodically, so thinking about, rather than trying to get through them as fast as possible. Big word, eh? I like it.
No, my question is, when have you ever attacked a workout methodically?
Last week, how did I go?
There was that one time.
One time. For instance, I'm going to be making sure that the steps I take with my hands on every wall walk is the same amount, all right? So I'm not, going hard in the first round, then my second lot, I'm taking 7 to 10 steps just to get to 1 rep on the wall sort of thing. So making sure that every step is, not going to gas out my shoulders and sort of thing, because, we talked about this last week. I'm not the strongest athlete. I'm not the strongest. I'm not the weakest though.
That's
all
right.
right? Okay, but those snatches will be the bottleneck for me in this workout. Double unders all day, wall walks all day, strict handstand push-ups. Yeah, probably be in the stamina department, not as much, but I can do them. But it will be those snatches for me that will get me. So it's just about being smart on those previous movements before I get to that one that's really going to cause me any issues. So there isn't, or there's less of an issue sort of thing. But it's just exactly what these guys said as well. It's just, got to play to who you are and make sure that you're not trying to go outside of your comfort zone too much, all right, where it's going to make you fail reps, start moving inefficiently and stuff. But yeah, all right, that's pretty good. I think we touched that, we covered that pretty good.
Covered that well.
So do we want to, we've already covered the strategy for those, just wanting their best result, too, we covered that in the same thing. What sort of things do we want to be targeting when we're warming up for this sort of thing? Got any ideas, Wizzy?
So I would say a lot of upper thoracic and shoulder mobility work first, just so you can get into good positions, A, on your snatches, and B, when you're upside down on the wall. Not so much the wall walk, but definitely get into good shapes and positions on the handstand push-ups. So lots of upper thoracic mobility, lots of shoulder work, lots of lat work to try and make sure you're nice and mobile and loose through there. I always give the guys a reverse Tabata to do, so 10 seconds of hard sprint, 20 seconds of rest on an assault bike or a C2 bike. We really want to jack that heart rate up before we start, just open up the lungs, open up the blood flow, and make sure that you are ready to go before the workout, so you don't have that initial spike, cause a little bit of panic, and then have to try and get it back. So that's number one. Then I would make sure we do a lot of empty barbell work. I wouldn't do too much wall walks or handstand push-ups, just because we need as much juice in those shoulders and that press as we can when we get into the workout. So a little bit of barbell work with an empty bar. I would warm up maybe the first and second barbell weight. Just make sure your mechanics are nice and strong and you are pulling off the ground well, getting underneath the bar well. Maybe do some full snatches as well, just to make sure that when you do have to revert back to that, you're ready to go. You do get a chance to warm up your snatches through the work, so I wouldn't do too much at the heavier loads. You're going to get a chance to warm up to that as you go. So that would be my main advice on the warm up. Spike the heart rate, don't do too much shoulder intensive or fatigue work, and just make sure you are ready to go, warm and mobile before you start that workout.
Nice. Megs, from a weightlifting / CrossFitter perspective, what would you, any tips on the snatches for our viewers and listeners?
I am essentially a weightlifter now, so I would say the more technically sound you can be on the snatches, the better. Like we said earlier, failed lift takes a lot of time to recover from and to be able to back up with a good lift, and we just don't have that kind of time here. But in terms of, warming up, is just when it's light, obviously there are going to be some people who are muscle snatching, and that's absolutely fine, but you need to be able to switch straight back into moving more efficiently when it gets into that second weight, that third weight, and that fourth weight. So making sure that when you're warming up, you know exactly how the muscle snatches should feel and the cycling should feel, but then you also know exactly how you're going to time your singles when you get to the weight where you need to do singles, and you do them really proficiently. You take your extra second to set up nicely each time. You think about trying to make every single one look and feel the same, because over the course of this workout, that's going to save you the most amount of energy. It's when you start to panic, and if you muscle snatch and then you try and muscle snatch a weight that's too heavy and it feels really hard, and then you panic and try something else, that's so much energy expended that you don't need to. So if you can practice just even with a couple of reps prior and know exactly how each one should look and feel, I think that's what's going to get us through.
Perfect. Got any tips for us on the handstand stuff?
I'll hold it for you.
Thank you. I've got to do the workouts. I need my shoulders. As in tips on the handstand push-ups?
Yeah, with just the new standard that we're working with and stuff like that.
Well, it does make it a little bit tougher. You've only got 30 inches wide to put your hands, so don't get any no reps on the handstand push-ups. As Meg said a little bit earlier, if you get a no rep on a strict handstand push-up, it is so costly because not only do you not get that rep, but it takes an exponential amount of time to recover and then be able to get back on the wall, and that time will extend the more you fail. So don't fail any handstand push-ups. Make sure your drive out of the bottom is nice and strong. You've got your hands in a good position on the wall. I like to get people to turn their thumbs slightly in so they get a little bit more of a press or a little bit more feel of the ground on that press out of that handstand push-up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just don't get any no reps. They are costly.
This is going to be a real specific question. Which finger are you going to have on the line?
Thumb and pointer finger.
Nice. Sweet. Good. I think that's
Good.
actually a very important question,
Great
I think.
question,
I
yeah.
think it's a great question. I think that touches it up for us. Hey, is that right? Anything else? Anything else you guys want to touch on before we go? No? Thanks to Sugar Grips. Again, faster. And I think there's some Killcliff down there too. Is there Killcliff there or does that get moved? No, it got moved. All right, it's there. It's there. I got drunk. We drunk it all, sorry. But no, thank you.
Renegade Radio.
Yeah, Renegade Radio.
3.3 last week.
Let's go, last one. And then are we doing anything for quarterfinals?
Yeah, we'll be back for quarterfinals.
Surely,
gang.
surely.
We'll be back for quarterfinals.
All right. Thank you. Peace out.
Peace, team.
Sweet.